Fifth Avenue on a day so hot the pavements are melting. I'm on my way to see an iconic American. The man is a towering ego, presiding over his business empire from a tower where you literally cannot avoid bumping into his name. At the bookstore, they only sell one author. Amongst the many tomes, this is my personal favorite. My treat today, I get to spend quality time with the man behind the brand and below the hair. I read somewhere that you don't like shaking people's hands because you're afraid of germs.
Well, not afraid of germs, Matt. I don't think it's a great custom. It's been proven, as you know, a person has a cold, a horrible cold, and they shake your hand. All of a sudden, 2 days later, you have a cold. You say, I wonder how that happened. It's not a great thing, but I do it.
Which is good, because if you want to run for president, as you might well do, then shaking hands is kind of part of the job, isn't it? So if I shook your hand again, no fear?
No fear. No, it's not a fear.
You withdrew that very quickly, though. That was a quick withdrawal.
It's not a fear thing. But as you know, science has proven me right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You were flirting with the presidential campaign in the year 2000, and then again in 2011. Why did you bottle out?
Well, not so much in 2000. I did look at it recently, prior to the last election. I had tremendous poll numbers and still have tremendous poll numbers. I thought that maybe Mitt Romney would win. He didn't do so well. He didn't resonate. He's a nice man, a fine man, but he didn't resonate. And it was a little bit of a tough thing for me. I really would have loved to have thought about running.
But I wonder whether someone like you is actually ill-equipped for politics, because having run stuff, having been in charge, having been able to say, you're fired, you can't deal with the kind of grubby compromises that politics demand.
Well, and you may be right. I mean, to be honest with you, you may be right. And then again, you may be very wrong. I mean, I see the way some politicians run things, and it's horrible.
But what makes you think that you can do a better job, especially when you seem to have quite a thin skin? You get very upset when people make fun of you.
Well, no, I don't get upset.
Donald Trump is here tonight.
The White House Correspondents' Dinner in 2011. Donald Trump had fought a bitter campaign demanding to see the president's birth certificate because he doubted that he'd been born in the US and thus even qualified for running the country. That night, the president got his own back.
No one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing?
I was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner in 2011 when you were the butt of President Obama's jokes, and it was very funny, but you weren't laughing. You were sitting there scowling. You couldn't take the joke.
Okay, no, you're wrong about that. I loved it. I absolutely
didn't look like it.
You're wrong.
I was watching you.
Excuse me, I had 5,000. Well, I didn't know how to act. Do I smile? Do I laugh? What am I supposed to do? I had every camera in the world on me at the time. And I said to my wife, I tapped her on the knee and I said, do you believe it? This entire speech is about me. I can't believe it. I loved it.
Free publicity.
I loved it. I actually loved it. So
you're an egomaniac.
Perhaps that's a bigger problem. Okay, that could be a problem.
Okay, now you love calling a spade, and I just want to run a couple of quotes, your quotes past you, and what you think of them now. So about Edward Snowden, the man who's currently residing in Moscow airport, I think you tweeted last week, he is a traitor.
Absolutely.
And then you added, and there is still such a thing as an execution.
Well, what you
Are you calling for his execution?
No. What you have in the old days, when the United States was a strong country, which it isn't right now, but if a person was a traitor, and if you could prove that person was a traitor, that person would be given the death penalty. You understand?
Are you saying that he should be given the death penalty?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, he's a traitor. Now,
but are you saying
the mores of our country have changed, and our country is not a strong country like it was, and we deal with traitors a lot differently. Now we deal with traitors where sometimes a traitor becomes a hero. I say he's a traitor. He's made our life extremely difficult in terms of our relationships with other countries, and I would say you deal with him very harshly, absolutely.
Okay, if he gets asylum in Vladimir Putin's Russia,
right,
and if you were President Trump, what would you do about it?
I wouldn't tell you that because I wouldn't want to play my cards in front of you, because right now I'm not, and I wouldn't want to play my cards in front of you. Now, I do have something. I own the Miss Universe, Miss USA, Miss Universe contest, and it's the big pageant. It's the largest pageant in the world.
You would exclude Russia from the pageant?
Well, interestingly, that's going to Moscow on November 9th.
Right. Okay, so
and you have a wonderful representative from Great Britain. Right. And I also tweeted that I wonder whether or not Snowden will be there.
So this isn't.
You know that was a joke.
Yeah, exactly. So this isn't gunship diplomacy. This is kind of
look,
Miss World
I
diplomacy
think
that you're
if
advocating.
we had the proper leadership.
Bikini diplomacy.
If we had the proper leadership, Russia would immediately hand Snowden back to us.
So you think that if you were president and you banged the table or snapped your fingers and said, Vladimir Putin, hand that Edward Snowden back to me, he would just do that?
I think I would get him back very quickly, yes. I think that Putin would give him back, yes.
Seriously?
Yeah. I think if I wanted him back, he would come back, he would be back, and I believe that Putin would give him back.
Let's talk about China briefly. China is one of your bugbears. The China-US relationship is perhaps the most important, if somewhat vexed, bilateral relationship between two countries in the world. You said that global warming was made up by the Chinese, for the Chinese, in order to make US manufacturing less competitive.
That's
bonkers, isn't it?
That was said sarcastically. It was said as a joke to create a point.
So when you said in 2010 that you welcomed a trade war with China, was that a joke as well?
No, that's not a joke, no. And welcome,
That's a tragedy,
welcome is a very
potentially.
strong, no, I don't think it's a tragedy. China has been eating our lunch. China has taken the United States for a ride like nobody other than perhaps OPEC has
But
done.
Donald, they're not just eating your lunch, they're paying for your lunch.
No,
they are
they're-
your banker, and you don't pick a fight with your banker.
You don't understand economics. China is taking advantage of this country like nobody has ever taken advantage of the United States. And you look at what's going on in this country, we are not making our product now. China and other countries are making our product.
But, I mean, we live off Chinese manufacturing, whether we like it or not.
That's because when you say we, you are stupid. You're stupid.
You called me a bad economist, I'm stupid.
Well, you're
what
not
else
a
are you
good,
going to
look,
do?
you're
Come
not
on,
a good
I've been very civil to you,
You're not a
Donald.
good economist. No, you haven't. You're not a good economist at all. You don't understand business, and you don't understand what I'm saying with China. You think it's a joke.
I'm fired,
it's not
right?
a joke.
So I'm fired.
You're not fired. You're not fired.
What keeps you up at night?
I sleep well. I mean, I sleep really well.
Hair? It's fine, it's solved.
Hey,
Looks
it's
good.
mine.
Okay, so I've got a bald patch developing
You
at the
look
back
fine.
here.
You look fine. You know, it's
No, I
interesting.
want to talk about my bald patch here just for a second. I've got this
Go
bald
ahead.
patch here. Can you see
A
it?
little bit. Yeah,
Okay,
not
what do I
bad.
do about it?
I would just leave it. I think it's
Are you
fine.
sure?
I
I'm
think
gonna
I
look
have
like a monk.
I have a little bit back there, too.
Your hair's never looked better. So why not grasp the nettle, Donald Trump, and announce in this interview that you will run for the White House in 2016?
Well, that would make a lot of people happy, I can tell you, and probably some people not so happy.
Donald Trump, may I?
Yes, you may.
Thank you very much.
You take care of yourself.
So President Trump sounds far-fetched, but there's one rule I've learned covering America. Never say never, ever.